Flames explode across West City as King Piccolo's terror ignites total chaos, and panicked civilians floor their vehicles to escape the annihilation closing in. Tien Shinhan rockets through the sky, jaw-locked in grim resolve, racing to face the Demon King before West City is erased. King Piccolo convulses violently and expels a massive spotted egg that slams into the earth with a heavy thud. Drum bursts from the shattered shell, and King Piccolo declares his newborn agent while Tien Shinhan watches in stunned disbelief. Below, West City's streets lock into total gridlock. Cars crush together as terrified citizens scream for any way out. A highway bridge detonates without warning, hurling smoke and debris skyward as the Demon King's shadow spreads over the ruined city. At Kame House, Bulma grips the phone in desperation while Yansha, Launch, Puar, Oolong, and Turtle crowd around in tense silence. Dr. Brief and his wife chat calmly about outfits inside Capsule Corp, oblivious to the demon threatening the world outside. Comfort blinds people to danger, and that blindness is exactly what let Piccolo's forces spread unchecked. Bulma's face lights up as the call connects, but the voice on the line rambles about shopping instead of survival. Bulma slams the phone down in fury while Yansha and the rest of the gang exchange dismayed, helpless glances. Tien Shinhan plants his feet before King Piccolo, Piano, and the newborn Drum, teeth clenched as three killers surround him alone. Drum lunges with shocking speed, smashing into Tien Shinhan before he can even begin his planned counterattack. Tien Shinhan launches skyward and drives a strike toward Drum, who blocks and parries with brutal ease. Drum's raw power sends Tien Shinhan crashing into the grass, forcing him into a battered defensive crouch. Drum smirks down at exhausted Tien Shinhan, who readies his signature tri-beam stance and refuses to fall. Goku streaks across the countryside atop flying Nimbus, racing to reach King Castle before King Piccolo's grip tightens further. Tien Shinhan's pride in fighting three enemies alone is the exact flaw Drum was built to punish. Ox King raises his massive battle axe, shielding young Kai Kai from the danger closing in around them. Black-mailed soldiers raise their rifles in formation, aiming squarely at Ox King and the terrified Kai Kai. Bullets rain down and ricochet harmlessly off Ox King's iron body as he shields Kai Kai without flinching. A soldier grips a rocket launcher and grins with cruel satisfaction, aiming it straight at Ox King and Kai Kai. Before the trigger is pulled, Goku drops from flying Nimbus and crashes into the fight without warning. Goku lands firmly beside Kai Kai, who gazes up at him with relief and quiet awe. The soldier waves his rocket launcher at Goku, but Goku stands utterly unshaken by the threat. Goku disarms the soldiers in a single motion, dropping them cold before they can even react. Goku's calm here is not mercy, it shows he has already measured every soldier as no real threat at all. A title card flashes with young Goku and Master Roshi leaping into action, signaling the storm about to break. Kame House sits deceptively peaceful near the cliffside, surrounded by lush trees, far from the chaos-consuming West City. Inside, Launch rips her gun while Yansha bursts in carrying a stack of capsules ready for war. Yansha declares he will fight alongside Tien Shinhan despite his injuries, as Bulma and the others watch in fear. West City lies choked in smoke, its streets emptied of life under King Piccolo's growing shadow. Abandoned cars sit frozen on silent roads as ash drifts over the wrecked, deserted city. At King Castle, Drum crushes Tien Shinhan again and again while King Piccolo watches with cruel satisfaction. Piano urges King Piccolo to move on to West City while Drum continues pounding Tien Shinhan into the dirt. Drum's fist slams into Tien Shinhan's face, sweat and blood flying as he clings desperately to consciousness. Drum towers over a broken Tien Shinhan, bruised and bleeding on the trampled grass. Refusing to stay down, Tien Shinhan drives a sudden counter-strike into Drum, forcing the demon backward. King Piccolo's expression turns to cold fury, disturbed that Tien Shinhan still refuses to break. Blood dripping from his mouth, Tien Shinhan forces himself upright, glaring defiantly at both King Piccolo and Drum. Drum slams Tien Shinhan down again and steps in for what looks like the final, fatal blow. Goku tears across the ocean on flying Nimbus at full speed, racing to reach the dying battle. Tien Shinhan lies motionless on the grass as King Piccolo and Piano turn to walk away, certain the fight is over. Rising suddenly, Tien Shinhan unleashes the evil containment wave, a swirling green vortex tearing straight toward King Piccolo. Drum hurls himself into the vortex's path, absorbing the technique meant to seal King Piccolo away forever. King Piccolo fires a beam that shatters Tien Shinhan's electric rice cooker, ripping the technique apart before it finishes. Drained and trembling, Tien Shinhan collapses to his knees, his last technique broken and his strength gone. Tien Shinhan's plan failed because sealing techniques demand an unbroken tool, and King Piccolo knew exactly what to destroy. Drum advances on the helpless Tien Shinhan, who grits his teeth against an enemy he can no longer fight. Goku swoops down on flying Nidbus, landing directly between Drum and the collapsed Tien Shinhan. Tien Shinhan stares in disbelief as Goku stands completely unharmed, radiating quiet confidence against the demon. Goku grins back at Tien Shinhan, promising he will handle Drum and keep him safe. But this was only the beginning of the nightmare, because Drum was never the true threat waiting in this saga. Drum charges at Goku in blind rage, only to meet a single devastating kick aimed straight at his skull. The kick's force shatters Drum's head instantly, killing the demon and leaving King Piccolo visibly stunned. Tien Shinhan stares at Goku in stunned amazement, barely able to comprehend the power he just witnessed. This episode marks the first time a Namekian is shown bleeding purple, and strangely, King Piccolo feels no pain from Drum's death at all. If you enjoyed this recap, we are currently on episode 119 of our full Dragon Ball Marathon, navigating the intense challenges of the King Piccolo saga. Hit like and subscribe so you do not miss how Goku conquers this arc and continues his journey. Share this with a friend and let us know in the comments, what has been your favorite moment of the King Piccolo saga so far.